Alrighty, you're listening to episode 23 of the TM GolfCast. In this episode, we talk to the membership coordinator here at Nemacolin Woodlands Resort. It's Mr. Steve Shingledecker. We talk about his golf career, his baseball career, how he's co-owned a golf course. We also talk about something that he has done that is I've never heard anybody else doing. It truly is something unbelievable. It is just extremely unbelievable something that he has done, and I'm not going to tell you in the intro because you got to listen to the end. But take a listen to Steve Shingledecker, episode 23 of the TM GolfCast. Alrighty, this is episode 23, I think it is, and I'm with the new membership coordinator, Mr. Steve Shingledecker. Thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
So you've been in the golf industry for how long now?
I guess you could say officially for only about 6 years.
Okay.
I've been, as far as golf goes, I started obviously when I was a kid playing, and then, competed for a long time, and, after college I competed on an amateur level, and I didn't really get, into the golf business itself until I became co-owner of a country club in 2012.
That's awesome. Now, you also had a big baseball career as well. Go into detail about that. What was that like?
Well, I appreciate you saying that it was a big baseball career. Out of high school, I played at North Carolina State, and was fortunate enough to play on some really good teams with some really good players, and we were I played in 4 NCAA tournaments. We were 2 seed for a couple of those, and came within an inch or two of the College World Series. Didn't quite make it, but I think our team still hold the record for most wins in a season. It was like 55. After college, I had some free agent opportunities to play professionally. I had a brother who was playing professionally, but it's a tough haul, and I still had a year of school left that was paid for, and I didn't think that the opportunity was that good for me to take baseball all the way to the major league. So I opted to finish off my degree, and quite honestly, I was probably in high school and as good of a golfer. I just chose at the time to play baseball, so I wanted to kind of come back and coach, and also get back into golf again.
That's awesome. Now, you were also a big college or golfer as well, right? You played really well amateur.
I did.
Tournaments?
I didn't play. As far as in college, I had the offers in high school, and honestly, probably I may have had better offers, or more offers, I should say, in golf than I did in baseball. For me, the decision came down to I wanted to be, I kind of wanted to stay in the team side of it.
Okay.
I'd played basketball and baseball and stuff in high school, and I didn't want to give that up. And so after college, I went back and started playing, whether it was some of the local, whether it was West Penn, and then was fortunate enough to at a couple of qualifiers. So I played in qualified for the USAM, qualified for a US Mid-Am, and I reached the finals of the US Open. So I got to a sectional of the US Open.
That's awesome.
1 year.
What was that like? When you're in a qualifier for the US Open, what's your head doing?
That is a story all of itself. So I think there was only 12 qualifiers at the time, and you pick them when you sign up. And it just so happened that we had one close. It was in Butler, PA, which was 30 or 40 minutes from home, and I come from a small town. So the idea that I was close to at least one tournament away from playing in the U.S. Open became a thing, and it became a story, and a fairly big deal in a small town. And so it received a lot of press, and a lot of guys locally came. It was 36 holes. It's 36 holes one day, and I don't know if it was good luck or bad luck, but as it turned out, I got paired with two guys who at the time were on the PGA Tour. As a matter of fact, one of them I believe won the '84 Lumber Classic, which was J.L. Lewis.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and the other was Vance Veazey. It was daunting. It was, I had not, really competed at a level like that, and then to be with those two guys, it was, and that year, I believe the U.S. Open, as a matter of fact, I know it was at Pebble.
Oh wow! What year was it?
It was, I want to say 2001. It was the year that Tiger beat everybody by 18 shots. It was so. Had I qualified, maybe he wouldn't have won, by 18. But and it was interesting, and it was honestly the first time as far as golf goes that I really understood the pressure of golf. It had always been a little bit more of kind of something fun for me, and but that day was when I understood how as far as golf goes, all the other sports I'd played, adrenaline was a good thing.
Yeah.
And golf, it's not necessarily a good thing. It's you have to have control of that, and it was tough that day. I was excited. I wouldn't call it nervous or whatever, but I was excited. It's hard to sometimes get your swing and keep your swing when you're in a situation like that. So it was more of a learning experience than, I was. I don't want to say I was quickly out of the running to go, but it, 75 doesn't cut it when you're down at that level.
See, 75 for me is like a great round. I'm like, all right, I shot a 75.
Well, and I know, and they only took two, and J.L. Lewis made it, and I think Vance Veazey missed by one or two, and it was interesting over that 36-hole period to see just that finite difference in those two guys.
Really?
Veazey was always kind of a journeyman, if you will, on tour. He was up and down from whether it was Nationwide or whatever, the web.com, and J.L. Lewis made a pretty good living on the main tour.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Veazey hit it a mile, J.L. didn't. So it was kind of interesting to watch, why, or to see what that little difference was, if you could find it, that made, that one player better than another when it looks like they both hit every shot exactly where they're trying to hit it.
Yeah, that's to see those kind of players out there. I went to the U.S. Open at Oakmont a couple years ago, and it was like, geez. That was the first tour tournament I actually was ever at, and it's like to see these guys hit these shots, it's crazy. Like you see it on TV, but then when you're in person with it, it's another story.
That's amazing. And I guess I've had some luck through, whether it be through coaching and different kids that have in different sports and would have gone on to do some different things. And one of the kids I coached actually in baseball played on the Nationwide Tour for several years, and I caddied for him a few times on the Nationwide Tour when it was in the area, or when when I could get to him, and so I had that opportunity just to be there and to go up and down the range at the closest thing to the PGA at that time. And again, it's crazy because you watch guys up and down the range that look like they hit every shot, like right where they're aiming and how they want to do it. So to try to find the difference, even with the young man I caddied for was Justin Smith from Pittsburgh, and never looked like Justin missed a shot, and quite honestly, he came very close, but he did not. He never made it. He got a couple seconds on the Nationwide Tour. Never got that win that would propel him to the PGA, and it's amazing because again, it never looked like he hit a bad shot.
That's amazing. It's just the finite details, how they can control their swing is amazing. Wish I could do that.
And I think at the end of the day, the guys that are on television make putts.
Yeah.
Whether it's streaky, but so they're, on the board one week, not on the next week. But if no matter how well or how good you hit it or how far you hit it, you have to be able to make putts.
Yeah.
And days, I think that was, all those guys are good putters. But you just get to a different level of putting if you're going to be cashing checks on the PGA Tour every week.
100%. Now, so you're at college. You got your what was your degree in college?
Business management.
Business management. Okay, so then you co-owned a golf course first. So what was that like?
It was a challenge. So, we're Pennsylvania, and if you're familiar, obviously you are, with the golf industry, it's seen some difficulties as far as the business side of it goes. And the course that I grew up playing was called Wenango Country Club, and back in the day, there was, when country clubs were a big thing, and there was a lot of money in the area, oil money, and in this, in western Pennsylvania, it was quite a place. It was a Tillinghast design. Donald Ross did some updates to it, so it had history, but the economy, the area, everything that goes with sort of country clubs, and I don't know, where or not, but I mean the golf industry, there's been more golf courses closed than open in each of the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So when we got involved, honestly, the course was member owned for almost 100 years and was struggling financially. So myself and a couple of other guys got involved to more or less save it, to try to save it, to keep it from, keep it as a golf course. So it was a labor of love, and because I wouldn't recommend it from a business perspective as your first choice, but trying to figure out how and if we could, what we could do with in a community, a smaller community, to keep the club alive and keep the tradition, and but at the same time, we had to kind of reel it in from what it once was, with the high dues and the initiations and the assessments, because that wasn't available anymore in that area. So it was a lot of, I guess you could say, fun and hard work, and and it's still there. So I'm proud of that.
That's awesome.
But it will remain a challenge for the guys that in any club like that, in this area where you're challenged a little bit seasonally by the weather, and by the rising costs and what you can charge.
Yeah, really. Now, so you were at Wenango. Now, then did you move into the insurance industry then, after Wenango?
No, I was kind of always in. I started, ironically, when it was kind of one of the first jobs. I had friends, and they seemed to be playing a lot of golf, and they were in the insurance business, so I just kind of jumped in that way, and it's not the most exciting business in the world, but it is one that's stable. No matter what, people have to buy insurance. So I was, had the opportunity and to start out sort of the bottom level there as selling insurance, for commissions, and over the years, and then I did built that to where I was, for about 10 years, I was a regional sales director for a larger insurance company, and had Pennsylvania, had Ohio, had Virginia, had, got to travel and see some nice, do a lot of things on that end of it.
That's awesome.
And yeah, and it was, paid a lot of bills, and I got to enjoy a lot of things because of it, but it's, as I said, it's a little bit different. So we're back to the labor of love, I guess.
Now back to golf. Now you're the new membership coordinator. How's it been so far? You've only been here for what, like 4 or 5 months?
Let's call it 2.
2, okay.
And I've kind of got about a month leading into it, where a head start. It's been, so far it's been great. I mean, Nemacolin is, there are very, very few places like this, in the world.
Yeah.
Again, my experience at Wenango, we had limited resources, if you will. We could only do so much with we had 18 holes and you had a pool and but up here we have everything, and we have, for whether it's the golfer or the hardcore golfer that wants to get better and go down and work with you guys in the academy, and or the casual guy who wants to just enjoy being a member, or someone who just plays sporadically and but loves the resort itself. We have all of that, and different offerings for everybody. So it's kind of neat to be able to have that. And so now it's a matter of kind of reaching the masses and that we're up here and what we have to offer, and hopefully, because I think the resort business is different than a country club.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think we can be a resort, but we can also be a club. For our members, and have a great member experience. And so we're kind of on the way to that. Obviously, Eric is got a great start as our director of golf, and I think his experience and where he's been will be is such an advantage. So now we have you guys out at the academy, which is so we have one of the best teaching facilities around. We have the best golf courses, and frankly, we have the best places to eat or play top golf or whatever.
Yeah, this resort, it's got everything you could ever want in a small spot.
Yeah.
The location's a little sketchy, but
that's I believe when they refer to it as a destination place, that in order to be a getaway place, you have to be away.
Yeah.
We do have that.
Now, what is one of the? I love this question, and I think you've been in the industry for so long. What is the funniest thing you've seen wherever you've been? What is the craziest story?
Oh boy, that's interesting. I mean, that depends on whether it's personal or I can tell you. Let's see. The best story I could probably give you personally is I did when I was at Wenango. Even though I owned the golf course, I thought I kind of have a motto that don't ever ask anybody to do something you won't do yourself.
Yeah.
So I would, if it came down to cleaning carts or, then, I had no problems doing that. But one particular, it was more of a week or 2 week period where we had a staffing issue, and our chef was, he was not going apparently to take the garbage out. So it had started to pile up, and it was getting a little uncomfortable. So I was by myself at the club, and I decided to live by my motto and show everybody that I would do it. Even though the chef went, I would take the garbage out. So I started to take the garbage out, and there was apparently some chicken in one of the bags that I had, and that it had been there longer than it should have been, and the bag blew out from the bottom. Yeah. So then I have a pretty strong stomach, but that was unlike anything I'd ever smelled. I can't explain it, and in order to try to clean it up, so I couldn't get near it, and so I went into the locker room and I took a towel and I wrapped the towel around my head like a turban. So I was hauling this god-awful chicken with a turban on around with everything but my eyes, in order to, and I was gagging, and it was the most disgusting. Again, to this day, I can't ever remember anything smelling like that. It was different. It was bad, and yeah, I can't begin to tell you.
Moral of the story is just take the trash out. Just take the trash out.
Just take it out. At that time, there had to be 30 bags. I was going to prove a point. I was at that time, but eventually I had to throw in the good pun. I had to throw in the towel and call for help, and I had to call some staff members and like, look, I can't do this anymore. I'm throwing up. This is awful. yeah, there was that night as far as, at least from a labor perspective, that I distinctly remember. I mean, we had, when you have a membership especially, you'll have a lot of good stories with your membership and different things that you'll see. Some of your more unique members, I guess, doing, and those are always the fun ones, especially when there's some beverages involved.
Oh, absolutely. You can't have a funny story without some good beverages there.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Now, you mentioned you got to do a lot of traveling before. I have gotten informed by some people that my questions are too stale.
Ooh.
So we're going to get into some little interesting questions. You said you traveled a lot. What is your go-to convenience store snack?
Right now, it is I can't think of what they are. Darn it! It is it's over here at JG's, and it's the chocolate chip granola bar that they have.
Oh,
and I buy them 8 at a time right now because I don't know of anyone that has this. It's not like a big brand. But I really like them, so I'm getting them about 8 at a whack, and yeah, that's my go-to right now. If it's summer, I know, right? In summer, a root beer Italian ice is my go-to.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Okay. That's not Italian ice there. I know you got us down at the academy hooked on the Mentos gum. Eric brings in like 3 at a time. He goes, here, just distributes them out. You have got us addicted to Mentos
No wrapper.
gum.
That
is
the
nice.
marketing.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You're not constantly, having to throw away your gum wrappers or pull them out of your pocket. You just got a big bucket of gum, and you throw them in, and when you're done, you're done.
I know my favorite snack right now. When I go, you can't find them anywhere except for Walmart, and of course it's Walmart. But M&M's just recently started making chocolate bars.
I did see the commercials.
I am addicted to those suckers. Like peanut M&Ms are my guilty pleasure, but when you have that in a chocolate bar format, like there is no going back.
So what do we got? Is it the regular M&M in a chocolate bar?
Well, they've got the minis mixed in with the chocolate bar. So they got small little M&Ms in this giant chocolate bar. They've got the regular ones. They've got the peanut. They've got mint. They've got the crispy ones. Oh, it's.
So they have the peanut.
Well, the peanuts are smashed. They smash the peanuts and they distribute kind of like an almond bar from Hershey's or something. Oh,
there's not like a peanut M&M in the bar.
No.
That really is what I would.
Yeah.
That would have to be a pretty big bar.
That would be. Yeah, that'd be pretty thick.
I still like it.
Oh, but
chocolate they have here is really good too.
I have not tried the chocolate.
Well, you have to, like the hotel when they, the fluff down or whatever, when they throw a chocolate on your pillow. If you stay here, it's really good stuff.
That's good stuff. I know. I gotta stay here. I gotta figure out how to stay here.
It's very nice. It's not that hard. You just.
I still haven't figured it out. I've been working on it. It's been a year. I've been still trying to figure it out.
I mean, there was an associate. I mean, I'm not the tech guy here, but even I've seen on Birdwire how to do the associate thing.
I go to Birdwire for the little things that I need. If I need something, like the security thing, I'll click on that. I feel like I'm going to click on something that I shouldn't. Well, Steve, I really appreciate you being. Is there any?
That's all we're doing?
Well, do you want to keep talking? We can keep talking. We could keep going. Here's one question. What is one thing that you've done differently that would help other professionals in the industry?
Oh, Gara, differently. And I don't know if it's differently, but a lot of people say this, but at the end of the day, it's really true. You gotta listen, especially when it's membership driven.
Okay.
Whether you're gonna hear, people are going to have some very legitimate concerns, and people are going to have what you would define as probably not so legitimate concerns. And you have to kind of listen to all of those the same, and often, in a way, agree with, but you'd be amazed at what you have to listen to, and I don't want to say pretend that you have a concern with, but in some cases, if it's they don't like the color of the divot replacing tools or whatever, then you still have to put on a face like that. I agree that's a really big problem. So, But I mean, what else? Here, okay, because no one gets to know this, and no one knows this around here. I don't tell hardly anybody, but we're on TV, so I'm putting it out there for you.
Okay.
16 hole-in-ones.
16?
16 hole-in-ones.
How is that possible?
It's possible. I got 16.
16?
16.
Now, has there been somebody who witnessed all 16?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, there has been actually none that I recall that would have been.
See, that would be my problem. Like, I'd get a hole-in-one and no one would be there to witness me.
Well, I had 8 at the club there that I played at when I was growing up young and owned, and then 8 others.
Gee, 16.
16. Got one on the U.S. Open qualifier.
Really? Well, that's if there's a place to get a hole-in-one, that's it.
That ruins your round. Then you start, if you're the overanalyzer, then you start thinking, man, if I can't qualify on a win the day when I hit a 5-iron in the hole, what day will I qualify? So that's like the 3rd or 4th hole. Par, par, par. I also I'll let your vast listeners figure this one out. I played 2 holes of golf. I hit 2 balls out of bounds, and I was even par on the 2 holes.
Wow.
So that's like what do you call that? A riddle. How can you play 2 holes of golf, hit 2 balls out of bounds, and be even par for the 2?
You have to get it in the hole real quick. Real quick, after that drop.
So since it's a short podcast,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be, so it was kind of a par 4 that was shortish, like 300 yards. Snap hooked the first one out of bounds. Snap hooked the second one out of bounds. Hit the third one off the tee on the green. Made the putt for double, and then had an ace on the next hole.
I didn't even think. I was thinking in my mind, like, okay, first hole out of bounds, second hole is out of bounds, so then he must have glory shot it right into the hole on this, after the drop.
You mean if in a different circumstance, it would have been, you take away the first 2 out of bounds, it would have been eagle. But I hit a couple of balls out of bounds first, and then took 2 to get it in on the par 4 and 1 to get it in on the par 3.
Well, now working here, you have a reputation to live up to. Now you got to get.
You're the only guy that knows I got 16 hole-in-ones.
Well, now you got to get a hole-in-one on all the par 3s here. So we got by the end of the summer, we got to get to we got to get 4 more. So we're gonna get 20. The goal here by the end of the summer is to get 20 hole-in-ones.
If we go to the tips here, that's serious. I've hit a lot of different clubs. I think we're down as far as 4-iron.
Now, do you have all the golf balls saved?
It's funny. I had, when I got a few early, I was too cool for that. And then as I got older, I started to keep them. So I probably have the last 8 or 10. I can go back as far as, I definitely have a Titleist Professional was the golf ball.
Oh, wow.
And maybe even a Bellata. I believe as much, I got a Max Fly.
Oh, wow.
When they were making the good ball. And a golf ball called Tour Edition that Greg Norman was using in his day. So I was a big Shark fan, and I would actually wear that dopey straw hat when I was playing.
I can't imagine you being a straw hat guy.
I can't imagine that I was a straw hat guy, but I did it. It was signed by him, though. So
well then, yeah, you gotta wear it.
Maybe better.
Yeah. Steve, I thank you for being on the show. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you. We'll get you next time on the pod. We'll have a part 2. It'll be a
pleasure.
Steve Shingledecker part 2.
We cover my coaching and basketball and all that fun stuff on there.